Yes, welcome back to the channel, Football Heritage TV. I am Savva. We are joined today by Guni from Man Knows Football. Well, we're about to find out. Does Man know football? Guni, welcome to 10 in 10 with me, Savva. How are you?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm well. I'm well. I'm glad that I'm not on the receiving end of questions. But listen, the format is nice and simple. It's 10 questions, 1 minute per question. You don't know what I'm going to ask you. I'll ask you a question, you answer it, and then we move on. And then everyone in the chat comments of YouTube will probably pick your answers apart. But that's life, right? So listen, we'll get straight into it. And for anyone that doesn't know, please, first of all, go and follow Guni at Man Knows Football. The link is in the title. And Guni is a Chelsea fan. So if there are Chelsea-centric questions, that is why. Are you ready, Guni?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. Okay. What's the best Chelsea versus Spurs match you have seen and why?
That is easy. Although, listen, it was a season that wasn't coated in much glory for us, but it had to be the Battle of the Bridge, man. It had absolutely everything in that game. Absolute just carnage, physical football. The tensions were up, emotions were high. That goal from Eden Hazard, obviously it won the league for Leicester. Sorry to do it to you, Savva, but you set yourself up for this one. But yeah, man. And also as well, now just looking back at the quality of the players that were in the team, although they didn't deliver it that season, it's just a great memory of what we quote unquote once were. But we went on to win the league the season afterwards. So yeah.
Well, listen, great team, great players, great goal by Eden Hazard. And as you said, you won it the next season. So I can only imagine what winning a title feels like. But as we move on, you're going to have to say something nice about Spurs. Who is the best Spurs player from the Premier League era? So somebody that you think, I would have had that person without a doubt at Chelsea. Who is it?
There's 3 players and I can't decide between the 3 of them. Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, and Dimitar Berbatov. All 3 of them absolute artists of the sport, man. So especially Dimitar Berbatov. But Luka Modric, do I really need to say more? Look at what he's gone on to do, man. Got taken by Real Madrid, won serial Champions Leagues. Had I felt in the World Cup, he was did he win the player of the tournament that World Cup? I don't think he did.
No, I think Messi won it, didn't he?
I felt he was robbed because
not Messi. Sorry, not Messi. It wasn't. But yeah, no, I don't think it was.
I don't think Modric won it, but like some of the football that I saw from this man, it was unbelievable. It was some of the best I've ever seen in a tournament. So I can't pick between the 3 because Gareth Bale as well. Come on. Yeah, this guy was just an absolute, anything within 40 yards for Gareth Bale, you give him a sniff, he was a danger. He was a legitimate danger anywhere on the pitch. So I can't choose between the 3, man, honestly.
We've had some players. And by the way, it was Luka Modric. Apparently it was Luka Modric that was player of the tournament.
Okay, fair enough. He deserved it then.
Superb. Yeah, I'm just upset that you didn't mention David Ginola, but never mind. We'll move on. You picked 3 great players. As far as Chelsea goes, what is success for Chelsea this season, Guni?
At this point, a domestic trophy would be a good success. We're still in the FA Cup, we're still in the Carabao Cup, and the thing is that we're coming into. Well, I'm still very undecided yet because I still need to see more. I'm not easily sold, but it looks like that we're coming into good form, and tournaments especially. Form doesn't really count as much as what the Premier League would, and I'm just hoping these boys take it seriously and win either one of the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup. It'll be very, very difficult to do so, especially with the FA Cup, but I'm hoping we'll be able to do that. But if we, get into the top 5 spots, then that would be a very successful season for me. And it makes me sick to my stomach to say this as a Chelsea fan, because we are spoiled. We expect success, man. Although there's no God-given right, but we do expect it. But this year, in the realm of realism, hopefully, 5th place, that would be successful.
Be a great season. The age-old question coming up next. Who was better? Is it Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, and why?
Difficult question. It's gotta be. It's not got. It's Messi for me, but I don't say that to take anything away from Ronaldo, because they're
Ronaldo, yeah.
both two players with such difficult qualities, but different qualities, not difficult, but they just make them stand out so much. But for me, it's Messi, man, because this guy on an individual basis and even contributing to a team was just absolutely, sometimes it was just poetry in motion what he did.
Yeah.
And it comes down to just what I prefer in technical abilities. I like those. I like the intricate passes. I like the, dribbling past several players and putting it in the back of the net. I'm a massive R9 fan, so I think that's where I get it from. That bit of individual brilliance that can just win you games, and then obviously contributes to winning you multiple titles. So for me, it's definitely Leo Messi, man. He could do everything. Anything that went against him was his height, because if he was like 6 foot plus, I'm sure he'd be able to have more aerial goals in his game. But for me, it's definitely Messi, man.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. If you could get rid of one thing from football, what would it be? It can be any subject you want. What would you get rid of from football?
Right now, VAR.
Okay.
VAR, because the thing is VAR sucked out so much of the fun from football, man. It's like, me as a football fan, you remember this, man, not even that long ago, when goals were going in, you could legitimately celebrate and just go mad for it.
Yep.
Now, like, even if a perfectly good goal is stood, sometimes you have to tone down your celebration. And by the time they've already blown the whistle and said, yeah, the goal counts, like, the novelty's kind of worn off already. So for me, it's also just, it's slowing down the game so much as well, and it's just not consistent. There's no consistency in VAR.
It's made it very robotic, right?
Exactly,
it's a very robotic game now.
It's almost become like the NFL, and that's not. And I mean, if you're an NFL fan, cool. That's what you're used to. That's how the game has always been. But like, to introduce it into football, which is just a free flowing game, what it's supposed to be, I just think it's just kind of killed the passion a little bit.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree with you completely. That would have been my answer as well. The best and worst Chelsea signings from the Premier League era. Now, you've signed a lot of good players, so this will be tough, but your best signing and the worst signing.
The worst signing has got to be this guy called Papi Gilobogi. You don't know who he is.
Wow. Who is that?
It was Mourinho or somebody had just made it. I think he was just literally signing this guy to make a point, like, our transfer policy is just absolutely in the ghetto. So I'm just going to pull out a random name. Papi Gilobogi for me is definitely got to be the worst stuff. It didn't make no sense. I think he played like one game for Chelsea, or maybe like 10 minutes. I don't even know. But the best signing for me at Chelsea, oh man, so many good players at Chelsea, man. I'm gonna go with Peter Cech.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's so many brilliant outfield players that we've signed. It's just too hard to choose. So the goalkeeping position is slightly easier. But Peter Cech, for me, I think unanimously, the Premier League fans who was able to watch Peter Cech throughout his span of his Chelsea career would say that there's an argument for him to be the best goalkeeper we've ever seen in the Prem. So
definitely
Peter
in there
Cech for me.
Definitely in there. Yeah, absolutely. Nice guy. I met him once as well. Really nice guy. Who is the best player to have played in the Premier League? Not Chelsea, just it could be a Chelsea player, but ever. Who is the best player to have played in the Premier League?
The best to ever play in the Premier League. This is going to make me sick to my stomach and you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, I know what you're saying now. Go on.
It's got to be Thierry Henry for me. I'm sorry. And the thing is I've come out even on my channel several times to say that guy is one of the best strikers, forwards, whatever you want to call him, I've ever seen play football.
He's different, isn't he? He was. I mean, I hate saying it as a Spurs fan, but he could do it all. And he was so graceful with the football. He made it look so easy. So yeah, top player, absolutely top player. I'm guessing a lot of people will say Henry. We've had a few different answers so far to date, but Henry's a couple. Here's one. As a Chelsea fan, these two players played for you for, I think, both over a decade. Who do you miss more? Is it Frank Lampard and what he bought the team, or is it John Terry and what he bought the team? And you can only pick one. No fence sitting, please.
So are you referring to in the context of our squad right now?
Just in general, who bought more? Who do you miss more? Like, if you could have one of these guys, who would it be back?
This is such a banana thing.
Two class players, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Frank Lampard. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go with Lamps, and and forgive me. I think it's also because I'm being clouded by what I'm seeing now. But Lamps, in terms of just being that midfielder that contributed to the attack, was just brilliant, man.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people think that, you know, he was just, I rate him so highly, or others rate him so highly because he scored so many goals. If you watch Frank Lampard, his ability to even just be a playmaker as well was ridiculous. He played some passes that you would never ever even dream of, some that you'd think, where in the physics did this come from?
Yeah,
You know what I
good
mean?
player. He
But
was
like,
so underrated. I think lots of people thought because he scored goals, that's all he did. But so much more to his game, and played at the top for so many years, didn't he? So yeah,
yeah.
top player, top player. I bet you wouldn't say no to a John Terry at centre half as well,
Oh
though.
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
The penultimate question. I'm asking these two are the same questions to everybody. What's the worst football opinion that you've heard? It can be from a fan, a YouTuber, a pundit, a manager. What's the worst football opinion you've heard?
That Ruben Diaz is one of the best centre backs to ever play football.
Oof. Oh, who said that? I
There's
love that.
somebody in my comments, and I almost stopped the stream. It was just an absolute disgrace because
Yeah.
he's not even the best that I've seen from Portugal. There was a guy called Ricardo Carvalho that was
Oh.
absolutely different gravy,
Oh.
different gravy. And it's even hard for me to put him in some of the best ever as well. But Ricardo Carvalho was absolutely ridiculous. So to say Ruben Diaz for me is just egregious. It's
Mm.
absolutely egregious. But you know yourself, Savva, like there's so many more statements that have been made, especially as YouTubers with the comment section. There's so many more that could be thrown up there. But that's the first
Oh.
one that came into my head.
I we see some whoppers on a daily basis. I mean, somebody the other day said to me that Jude Bellingham is better than Gaza already, and I was like, whoa, what? I was like, whoa, hang on, let's slow down a little bit. But hey, listen, these opinions, they come out thick and fast, and hey, it's the generation we live in. And then
Yeah.
the last question, Guni, for you is: what is your personal most controversial Chelsea opinion? Something that you believe that others can't quite get to grips with, or you might get berated for. But what is your most controversial opinion on Chelsea?
Oh, I get berated for this all the time. I don't think Nicholas Jackson's good enough. I don't think he'll ever be good enough. I want him sold, to be honest with you. I know he's been here
Already?
for 5 minutes. Yeah, I know he's been here for 5 minutes. I know he's only 21 years old. But personally, I trust my eyes and what I'm looking at. I trust my experience of the football game. And for me, I don't think he'll ever be it. Sorry.
You don't have to apologise to me, mate. I mean, Spurs. I'm upset that my Spurs team allowed him to score a hat trick. I mean, that was really really upsetting. We just went, yeah, go on, have the freedom of White Hart Lane and go and score a hat trick. But yeah, listen, I've seen some controversial opinions of my time, so
I've
that's
got
not
one
as
more. I've got one
go for
more.
it, go
I've
for it,
got
go
one
for it,
more actually. And
go
this
for it.
one might be a rattler.
Go on.
I think at his peak, Ricardo Carvalho was a better centre back than John Terry.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
I don't think that's as far out there. I think the difference is John Terry was, because he was your mainstay for 10, 12, 13 years. I don't know the exact, whatever it was. It was just, he was there. He was furniture, and we knew how good he was. Carvalho, for the shorter time that he did play, for me, yin and yang,
Yeah.
complement each other brilliant. The same way that it was, Vidic and
And Rio, yeah.
Rio, yin and yang. Carvalho, for me, I don't think there's centre backs like him that play anymore in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I think the art of defending has gone. I think now, if you can bring the ball out from the back, you're considered world class, as opposed to the actual art of defending. But that's just me. Listen, before we let you go, bonus question: Chelsea this weekend away at St James's Park. You've had 2 games in a row where you've got 4 goals against 2 of the top 4. Newcastle are riddled with injuries. Are we going to see another Chelsea 4-star performance? Or is this a bridge too far? No pun intended.
Do you know what? Every time we've run into, quote unquote, these challenging teams, I've always either said we ain't gonna win or we're gonna draw.
Yeah.
This time round, I'm going to say Chelsea are going to narrowly scrape a 2-1 win. I'm going to actually be confident this time round. But Newcastle, this is my thing with them, is they're so difficult to break down.
They are.
So difficult to break down. So, yeah, I'm going to be optimistic and say 2-1 Chelsea this weekend.
Oh, listen, that would be a great bit of form for you guys as well. Listen, first of all, listen, people, go over and subscribe to Guni. Always good for, you know, for his time at Man Knows Football. The link is in the description of this video. Please subscribe to Football Heritage TV and join us next time for 10 in 10. By now, you would have seen 7 or 8 of these, and hopefully you're enjoying them. We like the concept. Hope you do as well. Big up to everyone. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.
Southgate.